Okay, welcome everybody. I am really excited to get started on this journey with a whole new group of authors in a whole new project with a bunch of brand new benefits, and just kind of creating a different experience so you guys all have a better result and that we're staying state of the art in what we do to serve our people who are looking to really get their message out there in a bigger way. So a couple things I want to go over, and this is kind of just like a welcome orientation call. The first one of hopefully many that you guys will all start popping on, but it's really important for you guys to get some of the basics. So if you are seeing my screen right now, this is our main portal page. What I encourage you to do is save it. It is not a page you'll be able to find unless you have the link. So save it as a bookmark so you can go back and look at it as the program evolves, because right now there's not a lot on there, but as we start rolling, there's going to be more and more stuff on there. If I do a webinar, I'll put it on there. There will be images on there. There's going to be marketing strategies on there. There's going to be resources that I'm going to put on there. When we do the Amazon campaign, you'll have access to everything through this page. Most importantly, it'll have project updates. I am not a big one of emails, just because I know we get a ton of emails. So anything that's important will be in this page under the product program update section. So if you go down, I'm just kind of goes through some of the basic elements of the page. The first section are our bi-weekly team calls. We meet on the first and third Tuesday every month at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going to use the same link. The link is here. And if you're jumping in from your phone, here is the meeting ID. And you can also just click on the big button here if you want to direct access it directly through the button. In addition, I have created a Google Calendar that has all of our events on it. And you can see we're in January. When you go to February, you can see the event is on the first and third Tuesday of the month. And what's great about using a Google Calendar is that you can integrate this into your Google Calendar. So that way, as dates change or as new things get added, it'll automatically pop into your Google Calendar. And don't worry about messing up your calendar, because if you can see here, this is my Google Calendar. And on the left, you can see all of the calendars I've created, but down below are other calendars. And all you have to do is, if you don't want our calendar on your calendar anymore, maybe the program's over, then all you do is you can either uncheck it and those events will go away, or you click on the three little dots and go through the process of through the settings tab to be able to just delete it completely from your calendar. So that is that. Here's another link to go ahead and integrate it. Now, as far as the events go, I do not send email reminders. I just do that because, hey, this is a schedule. Go ahead and create it on your calendar, integrate ours, and then just show up. I just find that we don't necessarily need to remind you because we're all grown-ups here. So just put it on your calendar, and that way we know that you'll know that you just show up as needed. And then what I've tried to do is go through a step-by-step process of things that you need to do to make sure you get started on task and continue on task. And so there's some basic things on here, how to whitelist our email. You just click the little tab and it'll tell you what to do for that. Book your onboarding call, join our Facebook group. Now you can see there's two Facebook groups. There's the one that's just for the authors, and there is a big one. And the importance of being in the big one is we have over 2,000 people in there. And that's going to be really great once we get to the point where we're launching the book, sharing your story, sharing your free gift, your list building lead magnet out there. You can go ahead and post in that group and you're going to get seen in front of a bigger audience. So you don't have to join the big group, but it is an asset for you to tap into. There's a referral section that gives you some swipe copy and all of that. Then when you go down the page a little bit further, there's some resources for story creation. And you can kind of go through here, see what you find interesting, tap into all of the trainings. Like if you don't know how to write a good bio, There is a training on how to do that. There's just different resources on here that you can go ahead and use what works with you. If not, just ignore it, continue on down the page. And on the right-hand side, there are ebooks of the books, the Overcoming Mediocrity books that we have produced so far. So even though this book is going to have a different name and a different design and a look and feel that I'm going to ask for your opinions on once we get rolling with this project, it'd still be helpful for you to, if you want, look at some of the stories from some of the past books, most importantly, like the last 2 or 3, because when you look at them, you'll see how they've designed their lead magnet, their free gift, and really what is your story is going to look like and your chapter is going to look like when we're all done. The only thing I'm going to caution you on is you may not want to read the stories before you write your chapter, because what I've heard, people want to read the stories and they want help writing their own story. But sometimes if you read somebody else's story, it's going to maybe give you ideas for your story that aren't necessarily your ideas. So the best way to write an impactful story is to go through our process to really key in on who you're writing it for and take your audience through a journey using our 7-stage framework. All right. And then if you go down the page, there are a lot of sections that are not visible to you, but there are a lot that are. And so you can just go through and see what you find important. This Success Unleashed is a giveaway. So if you are looking to build your list, go ahead and do that. There's a cruise, there's a lot of different things on here that you can tap into, different resources, our podcast. And I would encourage you to, if you haven't subscribed to our podcast, please do, because when this book is done, you'll have your own episode to feature your story, your free gift. So the more people listen, the farther the traffic goes. So you may want to sign up now. And let's see, there's a lot of things that are not here just because we're not there yet, but you can kind of go through the page, see what you find interesting and see what you don't find interesting, and just gravitate to those. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to see if Jane has any questions, because Jane joined me for this recording. And then we'll go ahead and continue to work through this on our calls. If you want to know the process of our biweekly calls, I'll give right off the bat. If you're going to listen to the replays later, know that if you listen to the first 5 or 10 minutes, that is the most important part to listen to, because I'm going to be giving updates on the project. Now, in the beginning, there's not a lot of project updates because we're all in story creation mode. But as we get rolling with the program and things start changing and evolving, you'll want to, if you miss a call, make sure you listen to the replay and catch the first 5 or 10 minutes where I share what is going on in the process. Because like I said, I'm not going to send a lot of emails. But if you just listen to the first 5 or 10 minutes, you can go ahead and get a quick update and go on with your life. Once we do the updates, we'll be talking about any challenges people are having with their story, any questions people have about creating their lead magnet, any questions overall in the process. We'll go through a little bit of that. And then finally, we'll wrap it up with allowing everybody a chance to share their story, share where they're at in the process, and use it as a time to connect and for all of the authors to get to know each other. Now, just based on experience from the past calls that we've done throughout the last 11 years, the more people that show up to the calls, the stronger connections that are made, and the more collaboration opportunities that can be had. And I have a lot of our authors from our past books that have went on to create events together and to co-collaborate together. We even have a team of 3 women from 3 different books that are doing a book tour together, that they're using the book as like a marketing strategy, but they've created a really great event that they do together where they all teach their piece and they're using it to get on, basically create their own stage. So what we do is at a certain point, we'll have a open meeting where we invite all of our authors to come join us, and which is nice. Not everybody shows up, but we'll get a few fun people that come and join us for that big event. But it's just a way for you to meet the rest of the family, because our author team has really kind of evolved to be this amazing family. Unfortunately, the family only stays together for about a 6, 7, 8 months as they're going through the book project together. But I love having these big events because then we have a chance to kind of like have a reunion where we all get together and connect and meet each other. So I am going to stop sharing the screen and then get to questions. Jane, I gave you a little prompt, so you will be ready if you have any questions. If not, we'll go ahead, and I don't want to put pressure on you, but was there anything that I maybe didn't cover that you have questions about? You're muted. Thank you, by the way, for muting earlier.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, I noticed that, so I muted that anyway. I've been working with AI, ChatGPT, love working with them. And I've noticed that it's spewing out almost like a course as well. In the process of putting your story together, do authors often put in steps that would be in their course to give them an idea, or is it more story form? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so we just started using AI recently. Now, our last book, we had a couple authors and I tested AI to write my story, but it was completely different. I just said, write my story, here's some basic information. And I did the best I could to equip the AI assistant, but it basically didn't give me the result I want. So our new process is to provide the AI assistant 7 separate prompts that are designed for each step of the journey based on our 7-step framework. And so that's an important part of the process. However, it's really important that we use AI or we provide AI information about our business and our offer. So that way it knows the end result. Like we want the AI assistant to know that once somebody reads our story, they're going to be inspired by us. They're going to learn a little bit from us. And then hopefully they'll want more from us, which would be our offer. And so if we give it the right information, I would use the process that we've provided in the prompts, because what that is going to do, it's going to identify the first 3 steps that you want your prospect to take. So if you know your ideal prospect, you know the end result is to work with you. You know your prospect journey, they're on point A and they want to eventually get to point Z so they can have their dream life. And if you can identify how they can get from A to B to C, those should be the first 3 steps that you're sharing in your story. So you give them a couple little wins. Step D should be the free gift that you give them. So now they've gone through the first 3 steps. Now they've got this free gift that's going to give them more value and get them a little farther on their journey. However, they still know they need more. And if you do it right, you design that prospect journey correctly, they're going to want more and you're going to take them through that next process in the funnel. So I don't know if that answered your question, but you just don't want to give them random information from your course. You want to give them the information that they need to get the result they want.
Oh, absolutely. That was a big help. Thank you. Yeah, that really did solidify the question. Now I completely get it.
Cool. Did you have any questions about our meetings or the resources or anything else that I went over?
No, I think those are pretty clear. I mean, use them as you need them, but yeah, it's more than enough information. I mean, it's fabulous, I haven't had the opportunity to look into most of it, but as I've been, we had a little chat earlier, and I was telling Christy that I have just been having a great time with my friend ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, and we were talking roughly about, if it doesn't give you the results you want, I just go back and say that was great, but be more creative or whatever it might be more emotional, or I'm looking for more psychology, because it will generate then the results. You have to prompt it and let it know how you feel.
You have to give it feedback.
Feedback.
So
Right.
Yes. So
yeah.
Awesome. So that's great. Now, one other thing that I didn't mention that I'll make sure that I realize is not in the portal, but I will make sure that the link is in the portal. Once you're in the program, you will be giving access to other little small trainings. One of them is specifically on lead magnets. There's a couple other trainings. That is in a different, like a membership area. So you will get an email for that to go ahead and get access to that, but I'll make sure the link to access that is in the portal. Also, we have formed, and I am continuing to form more partnerships. So that way you all have more ways to get your message out there, and it's basically through different bonuses. So they're not there yet because I don't want anybody to do anything but focus on story creation. But when we get to the point, you'll have on the bottom section a whole list of partner resources that are bonuses for you that you can go ahead and tap into. So if
Wonderful.
nobody has any other questions, you guys are such a quiet audience. Well, and the challenge is this is our first meeting, and I know I had a little mix up with the time zone because when I created it, I was in Central and it was like messed up. So I will have the call again in about 20 minutes for the rest of the people that show up on the other time zone that we had.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But at least I've got this recorded that I can put this in the portal and for anybody new that comes into the program, because right now we have 7 people that are in. We definitely need to get to about 20. We can go up to 24 to make sure we have a full book. So I am in hot mode to have conversations with people that are attending our story creation workshop that may be interested in joining the project. And if you guys have people that you feel may be a good fit for the project, feel free to send them my way and we'll get them plugged in.
Will do. Just a question then on, I know you say you don't send out emails because we get bombarded by them with these calls that you said are marked on our calendar. Will you send a text to remind us, or is it our responsibility to just remember?
Yeah, I don't do any reminders about the event, the meetings.
Okay.
I will, if there's something important going on, I'll send a text. I think I've got everybody's text messages or text numbers. We do have somebody from the UK, so that makes it a little challenging to stay connected with her. But we use texting for things that are important that we don't want anybody to miss.
Okay.
But no, as far as the meeting goes, put on your calendar, set a reminder and on your own calendar. And actually the Google Calendar has a reminder, I think a 10-minute reminder, but just plan to show up.
Okay.
To see you then.
Wonderful. All right.
Okay. All right. Thanks everybody. Hang on, Jane. I'm going to stop the recording.